Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. This channel offers elementary art lessons taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I look forward to virtually creating with you. There are new lessons posted weekly. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss a single one. So go grab your art supplies and your thinking caps and let's begin. All right, hey first graders, let's learn how to make rose Model Magic sculptures. All right, so what we're gonna need is some Model Magic. Model Magic comes in lots of different ways. At school here, I buy white Model Magic for us because then we can color it ourselves. But I do know they sell colored Model Magic at like Walmart and Michael's and any craft store that you might have near you. So you can either color it the way I'm going to color it with some washable markers, or you can get the colored already. Completely up to you, but we can still make the rose no matter what. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open my pouch of Model Magic, excuse me, and I'm going to save this wrapper because this is a great place for it to sit and dry. So I usually like to save my wrapper over here off to the side. Okay, so I need to make sure I have a clean working surface because Model Magic is white and it'll pick up any of those little like bits of whatever that might be on your desk and messing it up. So I'm gonna make sure that I have a nice clean working area. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and divide my Model Magic in half because I want one half to be one color and then one half to be a separate color. So I wanted to divide it in half. You could even make it 4 colors if you want to, completely up to you. I'm gonna go with 2 colors. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and get my markers and find the colors that I want. I wanted this raspberry and this orange as my 2 colors. So I'm gonna take the raspberry first. I'm gonna squish this down a little bit and tap, 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 tap a bunch of marker ink in my Model Magic. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and fold this up like I'm making a taco. Delicioso. But all the toppings have to be on the inside, right? So then I'm gonna squish it and pull it and break it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna start spreading around that marker ink. Look, here it comes. And I'm going to begin to tint the Model Magic. I'm never going to get this color to be this color. That's way too much ink for me to have to use to make my Model Magic that color. So I just have to accept that I'm using a color, but it's going to be lighter. It always will be. So this is the color that I'm gonna get from my Model Magic. I don't wanna add too much ink either because then it kind of ruins the integrity of the Model Magic and makes it kind of crumbly. So I don't wanna add too much of the marker ink, just enough to make it a pretty color. All right, that's great. Now let's do the orange. And if you want, at any point, I could stop. You see how it's kind of like marbled? I could actually stop at this point and leave it marbled if I want. And I might do that, but I'm gonna keep going just a little bit longer here. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go back and forth between these two, and I'm going to pick off just a small amount, about the size of the top of my thumb, this squishy part of the top of my thumb here. And after I get that little piece, I'm going to roll it into a sphere. Remember, that's the fancy 3D name for a circle, a sphere. And then I'm gonna use that part of my thumb to squish it. There we go, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now I'm gonna put that guy right there. Next, I'm gonna go to an orange piece, about the same size. It's okay if they're a little bit different from each other. They do not have to be all exactly the same, but the process is the same. So you get a little piece and you roll it into a sphere and then you squish it. Now, what I'm gonna start to do here is a little bit of overlapping. So I have the pink one and the orange one overlapping just a little bit. So they're not beside each other, they're on top of each other just a little bit. And I'm just gonna keep going until I have a really long row of those petals. Those are going to become the petals for our flower. There we go, there's another one. And I'm gonna keep going right across here, and you can make up a pattern, you can do random, whatever you decide to do. And I'm going to use up my entire pouch here. I'm just making these little petals, and I can't wait till you see what we do next. Make sure you push a little bit on all of these connections. We want those to be connected, so make sure you push a little bit. Now, Model Magic does start to dry up if you leave it out in the air for too long. So whenever you are working, you want to make sure that you keep going until you're done. Model Magic cannot be saved for later. It's different from other types of air dry clay. You can't save it and work on it later. So this one, you definitely have to just keep going until you're done. And then whenever the project is all done, you just let it set and dry. It's also different from Play-Doh in the sense that it will not get crumbly as it dries. It will actually get crumbly if you add too much ink, but hopefully I did not add too much ink today and mine will not get crumbly. All right, I have one more petal. All right, so now the fun part. I'm gonna start, these should all be connected. I should be able to pick it up gently, of course. I'm gonna start on the one end and I'm going to kind of curl it in, again, kind of like a taco. And then I'm working at the bottom here and I'm just rolling. And I'm watching this bottom edge as I roll, watching the bottom edge as I roll, kind of like pinching this bottom edge too, a little bit, not too much. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Almost there. Keep rolling. And oh my goodness, I'm gonna kind of pull these bottom parts down. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. Now, good news and bad news. The good news is that's lovely, and I'm so glad that I made this. The bad news is it is what it is. So once it gets rolled up, you cannot take it apart and change it. So if I don't like how this petal is squishing and kind of weird and different, I can't change that now. It is what it is. They're already sticking together. Now, at the bottom, I was able to pull this down a little bit, so I'm actually gonna get a pipe cleaner and create a little stem for this, and then I'm gonna let this sit and dry, and when I come back to it, it's gonna be a beautiful little... Okay, so I have myself a pipe cleaner. I don't want it to be too long, so I'm gonna actually bend it in half here, bending it in half, and I'm going to give it a twist those two pieces together. It also makes it look thicker, which is also very nice. Twisty, twisty. Twisty, twisty. There we go. Then I'm gonna take the two pokey ends up here and very gently down here at the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and poke them up, not too far, and you gotta be gentle because you don't wanna squeeze and ruin your flower. Poke those up there. We can always add a little like dab of glue up inside of there if it doesn't stick on its own, but a lot of times it does stick on its own. So there we have our beautiful flower. You can also add leaves if you want to that stem, but I think it is beautiful. All right, artists, I hope you had a great time making your Model Magic rose, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you back here next time at the Heart of a Viking.
HOB artists, don't forget to hop on over to ArtSonia to upload a photograph of your piece of artwork to your art portfolio. I can't wait to see it.